Have you ever heard the concept of batching? Well, it's often related to factories and production lines. Now, if you make 10 of something, the time it takes to make each of those items, will be considerably lower amount of time than it would if you were just to make one. So the concept of batching, you're thinking, you're gonna get all boring on us. But actually, if you think about it, there's a lot of stuff we do that's repetitive in our lives, in our everyday lives, in our weekly routines, that when you think about it, if we did them quicker, if we did them all in one go, they would save so much time going forward. So what kind of things? How about dressing up? Well, how many times do you have to get dressed? Daily, at least once, sometimes more than once. And you have to do that every day of the week, so 7 days a week, once or twice, up to 14 times. And if you're in fashion, probably even more. And those of you who are in fashion or who are planning to set up a fashion business might say to me, what are you saying? This is the most important part of my day, getting, ideas, changing clothes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff that you have to do to get out of the house. Yeah? Whether it's getting washed, whether it's getting dressed, whether it's styling your hair, whether it's getting dressed and picking what you're going to wear, whether it's doing all the basics. The concept of batching is one of the ways in which you can save yourself time. So further along, I'll be talking about how you could maximize your time, how you could do things differently. But this is all about batching. So if we take the clothing example, you could save yourself so much time by picking your clothes ahead for the week. And you're thinking, actually I could. I often have outfits that go together, that top and those trousers, that dress, this and that. So how about taking some time, about half an hour, on an evening when your brain's probably already to rest, and putting seven sets of clothes for the week ahead. It's going to be weather dependent. It's going to be depending on what you've got planned for that week, but you will likely know. So why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Take half an hour and do it, because you'll not be spending 5 or 10 minutes every day to do it, and here you've saved yourself already half of the time from that week doing it. So try that for a week. It's gonna make a huge impact. You're gonna be blown away by how you start spotting a lot of other things that take time when you do them once, but can't be done all in one go at the beginning or at the end of the week, and save you a lot of time so that you can use towards working on your business and on your goals. So another example is, for example, your hair. So you're gonna laugh at this because you're thinking, where is she getting at? But actually, if you have hair that requires straightening like mine, it's a bit of a pain. So what I did was to do a permanent straightening service, which means that my hair is less frizzy, it's actually more straight, and if I really want it, super flush and straightened, I'll just use the straighteners for 2 or 3 minutes, not 20. I change my hairstyles so my hair doesn't have to be washed every day, which saves me half an hour on the days that I don't wash it on. And that's just, a few things that can help you save time. Now, you can't save on makeup and the things that you need to start in the morning and kind of clean off in the evening, but that could get you started. So what I would like you to do now is to again take a break from this video and sit down with your new sheet of paper, because you probably have had so many of those now and written so much and reflected on so much, and take that and in your head imagine what you're doing in the day. So write those points down. Wake up, go to the loo, wash your face, have a shower, etc. Write all those things down, write down what you do, and then highlight which of those things could be done earlier, could be prepared earlier, could be batched, where you could save time. Okay? So, because I'm talking about home life at the minute, and I will move on to some of the work stuff that you could do to batch. But if you think about food even, you could cook something that can be reheated the next day, and that means you don't have to cook it again. Now, don't do this for a week, because that might not be necessarily safe for your health, unless you froze some stuff, and a lot of people do that. A lot of people who exercise and keep a strict fitness routine batch cook and then freeze some of the food, and that can be defrosted, reheated, and eaten again. Now again, that's one of the things I don't do, for example, because I enjoy cooking. That's part of my family. There are days where we cook for 2 or 3 days and reheat food, so it saves us time that we could be spending doing something else. If you have the money and you can afford to go out or get food delivered to you every day, even better so. You might not be able to do it. That's why batch cooking and then kind of reheating it later on is another thing. The other thing you could be doing is your online shopping. Now people say, yes, but you know, there are really, really cheap shops that I go to for my fruit and veg, and there's no quality difference or anything. But how about doing your online shop, even in the cheapest supermarket? Because the benefits of that are not just that someone delivers it, you don't have to actually go to the shop and pick your stuff. You then have a list that's saved, and you can check against that list of any of the produce that run out or things that you've been, so you can reduce or increase the amounts, and then all you need to do is just tick that list again. Imagine shopping taking 2 minutes, not 2 hours, including unpacking. All those things can be used to really just find pockets of time that we could then reinvest in some of the other stuff we're doing. So if you have to do your shopping in the morning because that's when the kids are at school and that's where you might have a couple of hours from your work from home day, don't. Order it online and use that time for really working on what you need to work on. How amazing would that be? So I know I've talked a lot and I've given you some examples, but I'm going to include my sheet of how I do things, and also a little sheet that could be a helpful guide for you to trigger some of your habits, and how you could do some of the weekly batching of different things. And we're going to move on to work, because you might say, yeah, great, well, I'm already, clued up, I know what to do, I can stop. Well, how about all this overwhelm of setting up a business? And how can I reduce some of the stuff that's currently taking me so